always make sure that whatever you do is something that you were told to do by someone who was assigned to do the telling. Mm-hmm. Ask all of the questions that are necessary to do what you were told, and do all that you can to be sure that whatever you do produces a result that is always correct and constructive. Now, if you're in a situation where it looks like you're going to do something that's not constructive, now you do what? You don't get belligerent or anything like that. You don't start an argument, but you just simply ask more questions. See, here again, I'm going to say it again because I say this all the time. All problems must be solved or can be solved or will be solved through the process of questions and answers. So you first of all get permission to ask a question, and then you ask your questions. Sir, ma'am, this thing that we're fixing to do, is this going to produce a constructive result? And if so, how?
You ask that to yourself or to them?
You can ask anybody that.
Okay.
Yes, you can always ask a question once you get permission to ask the question. See, very few people will take offense to you asking a question. Some people will. They'll just say, well, look, I don't like the kind of questions you ask.
You're right.
All right. Then you can ask them another question. What type of questions do you want me to ask, sir? See? Stay in the question lane. If you stay in that question lane, and I tell people this all the time, I try to do it myself because I know that's the way to go.
Yes, sir.
The question lane is the best lane to be in. Stay away from making flat statements or any kind of statements if you can. Try to turn your statement into a question, particularly on a job.
Why?
All the time.
Why?
Speak in terms of questions.
Why?
Because people usually do not take offense to a question as much as they will take offense to a statement.
Okay.
Rather than say, for example, this is not the correct way to go about doing it, and that's what you're telling somebody that. Now, that's a statement. Now, people might take offense to that, all right? Even if you're being polite, you'll say, well, look, ma'am, this is not the correct way of going about doing this. Now, that lady may take offense to that statement. But if you say this, let's look at it this way. Ma'am, do you think this is the correct way to go about doing this? And if so, why? See?
Yes,
that's
sir.
a question. So the person is not likely to get offended by that. The person might, but the person can always answer. This gives them an opening. The person might even ask you a question in a hostile manner by you asking that question. Say, are you questioning what I'm doing? And you say, no, I'm just asking, about, since we're all working together here, is this the best way to go about doing it? Well, sure, it's the best way to go about doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said so. And then you say, well, thank you. Nothing else you could say other than that. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, they have given you the answer. So you don't bother with the answer that you got, except if you have another question.